I ain't dating you unless you got kids. You got to
Mm-hmm.
have one, maybe two, because for one, everybody eats for one. But I just like women that have kids. And somebody asked me on Instagram why they got to have kids because women with kids have structure. They have discipline because they have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And women that don't have kids, they never have snacks in the pantry. I like to get up 3, 4 in the morning and get a Capri Sun and steal some of the kids' snacks. And women that don't have kids don't never have no food, Unc. And you know what they always want to do?
Go out and eat.
With no kids, always want to go out to eat and give looks like it's a goddamn fashion show. This ain't no motherfucking fashion show. I'm hungry. 3 in the morning. Capri Sun. Do you know what Capri Sun tastes like at 3 in the morning after a session?
Nah, hopefully I'm sleep at 3 a.m.
Now you ain't hear me. Do
Oh,
you
after a
know what? Do
session.
you
Oh,
know
yeah, something
after
cold.
man?
Yeah, Ojo, you
Let
know
me
what I'm
ask you.
saying?
Let me ask you something. I ain't trying to be funny. Please tell me you've had a honey bun in the microwave, warm it up for 12 seconds, nice and hot with a Capri Sun.
No, no, I
A,
ain't never
a,
had no.
a zebra cake.
Oh, I love them zebra cakes. Yeah, I have zebra cakes.
Uh,
I don't like to eat after one of them sessions. I just want something cool. Cause my heart beating real fast.
yeah, okay. I understand. Well, for me, I purposely first time, and I could tell you a story because we family. I can tell you, I was dating a woman. She was about, I mean, I was probably 27 at the time, and she had kids. She was
Mm-hmm.
about 53. She was 53. I was 27, 20. Yeah, she was about 53. No, I stayed the night and whatever. And it was time to go. She woke me up 3 in the morning and say, baby, you got to go. You can't stay here. I say, what you mean? I say, you came here and you did your business and what you need to do. Now I'm gonna give you a snack and a Capri Sun, but you got to go. I'm like, wait a minute. Like
Yeah.
I did the walk of shame with food. At least she kicked me out with food. Now I felt bad, but at least she sent me home with something to eat and something on my
Yeah.
stomach. Now, a single woman, no food, no nothing. I'm just talking about my experiences. They
Yeah.
always want to go. They always want to go eat
That's
and
that
put
that's
on.
happened.
They
That's
they
happened.
they, they want to put that shit on. Yeah, what? This is a good.
Shaking my head. So yeah, y'all seen the video, and I'm gonna go through the video in a minute and break it down step by step, pausing the video. I just wanted y'all to see the video all the way through. If you haven't seen it, then I'm gonna give my quick take on it. Then I'm gonna break it down some more. So, as you see by the title and that you seen from the video, Chad Ochocinco Johnson says that he only dates women with kids and that well, I don't think he said that you should only date women with kids, but he explains why he only date women with kids. And I mean the reasoning, no, as we know, okay, so let me first start by saying this that I like Chad Johnson Ochocinco. I'm a football fan, as y'all know. I remember when Chad was playing, he was a great receiver. He wasn't Randy Moss or who else was back then? Like Andre Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, Steve Smith, but he was a Pro Bowl wide receiver, definitely for sure. He wasn't no scrub. He was 1,000-yard receiver. Chad was that dude. He played for the Bengals. I think his entire career. So I like Chad. Like most of us like Chad. He was known for his antics and putting on the show and all of that type of stuff. And then as we know, Chad now he's basically a comedian for the most part. So I want to say that and file a disclaimer because obviously I don't know if he's joking or not. Because Chad one of them people who he be serious and seem like he's serious, but then the stuff that he be saying it come across like a joke. Like you could tell that he like do it in a joking way and that he a low key comedian from his personality, from all of the stuff he say about McDonald's and all of that type of stuff. So. So we don't know if he was playing or not. So, knowing Chad, but he was seeming serious as can be. So we gonna take his word for it. So obviously, how I feel about the whole single mothers and dating women with kids. I got a whole video on it that I'm gonna put at the end where I list all of the negative things that comes along with dating a woman with kids. It just is. I can literally name like 20 things, which some of them I'm gonna get into, but then y'all have to watch that video because I went on the whole breakdown. And then there's really no benefits for the man to date a woman with kids. So let's get into what Chad Ochocinco Johnson said that the benefits is. So he said that the benefits, the first benefit is that women with kids have structure in their life. Hold on, matter of fact, I'm gonna get into it now. I'm gonna play it and break it down so I don't misquote him.
Conversation, because I ain't dating you unless you got kids. You got to have one, maybe two, because for one, everybody eats for one. But I just like women that have kids. And somebody asked me on Instagram, why they gotta have kids? Because women with kids have structure. They have discipline because they have kids, and women that don't have kids, they never have snacks in the pantry.
Okay, we don't stop it right there. So the first thing that he said was that women with kids have structure and discipline in their life. And to me, that's hilarious. Like, Chad and if you know Chad, he be tiptoeing on the scent blue pill category. I'm sad to say, but if you've been watching Chad, which I have with him and Shannon and following his life and stuff, like, like Chad be displaying a lot of stuff that we would call blue pill and scent behavior. But then on the other hand, he be displaying a lot of Pookie and Ray Ray behavior, because he got a bunch of kids. I think he said he got like 10, 11 kids, by multiple women, of course. But then he rich. So, I would call him a rich Pookie and Ray Ray. Like NBA Youngboy is a perfect example of that. Even though they rich, they still be doing stuff that Pookie and Ray Ray be doing. Like getting a bunch of women pregnant. Now, if you don't know, like, what the hell is spooky and rape? Because I'm just using this term because a lot of people do know what this means. And a lot of people, I even heard my uncle use it in like it's an old term that's been going on since like the 90s. And it basically describes the men. It's usually black men, but it could be white men too. We usually call the white men like Chads and uh it's another name that we call the white people because Pookie and Ray Ray sound like a black person term, like a hood term, but it can be white people too. And it's just basically somebody who usually they don't have a job and they broke, but they can, like I said, be a rich Pookie where they still got the mentality of just sleeping around with a bunch of women, having a bunch of kids by a bunch of different women, in and out of relationships. Like, that's basically what they is. Um, so yeah, so Chad kind of falls into that category, but then as we know, Chad is married now. And before her, he was dating another model. Like, I think she was on Love and Hip Hop. I think her name was Gloria. I think, or is that who he with now? I know somebody dating named Gloria, but then she was like a model, and she was out there. And then Chad is somebody who said that he doesn't care about body count. So he goes against. He say all of the stuff that the red pill or the manosphere, all of them type of people about. That's men who about having standards and not putting women on a pedestal and not saving women from their bad mistakes. We know that Chad is not in that category. I doubt that Chad listens to Kevin Samuels or Fresh and Fit or any of these dating coaches, alpha male strategies even. Like, I doubt he listens to any of them. And you got to remember, he older, so he come from a different time. So I say people, even though Chad not actually that old, Chad might actually only be like 40, but I digress. So anyway, he said that women have structure and discipline, women with kids. And that's the biggest lie ever, like literally. I get what he's trying to say because it should give you structure, like women with kids, like, they have to work, they have to be on their grind, they have to have a roof over their head, they have to do stuff. They got to be a little bit more responsible than women who don't have kids. That's just what they forced into. That's kind of where he coming from, but then that's not true because as we know, I done met a lot of them, and that's why most men don't like dating women with kids because they don't have structure and discipline. Because for one, a lot of women who have kids can't afford their kids. Let's just be real. It just is what it is. We know how expensive kids is. And then if you a single mother, you can't do it by yourself, especially if you're not getting child support. If you're getting child support, maybe and your child's father have money and you getting a nice check per month, then maybe. But or the women who single mothers, like real single mothers that's out here by themselves, most of them can't afford their kids. And then let's say that they can afford their kids and they have that structure. If the dad is not in their life, like if they didn't pick a good father, we know that they gonna struggle with having free time, which we see a lot because they gonna have to work a lot to provide. Then when they not working, they gotta have their kids because people watching their kids while they at work. So it's like when you're not at work, you better take your kid. Like that's what I noticed. So a lot of women don't have definitely don't have structure when it comes to their life because it's most of the time it's chaos because a lot of times we know women have kids when they're young, which I guess they kind of supposed to, but sometimes it's too young, like under 21 is too young for me. I think you should be like 21, preferably in your mid to late 20s when you have kids. But we know that you young when you have kids, so you still don't have structure because this is what always get women is that women always want to party and have fun because they young, but then they a mother also. So they trying to balance having fun and partying and being young on top of having kids. And then most of the time they not able to. And then they obviously don't have discipline. Discipline is the worst word because if they had discipline, they would have kept their legs closed. I'm sorry, like that's I'm just saying what everybody is thinking basically, and what most men would say. Like, if you had discipline, you would have waited till you got married, you would have chose a better father, you would have been making him use protection. Like, that's discipline. Like having a kid before you're ready or with the wrong person shows the lack of discipline, literally. And then so most of the time they don't have structure and they like this hectic, especially if they got multiple kids and multiple baby daddies and they not with none of them. Of course they lack discipline. Maybe somebody who has one kid and one baby daddy and it just didn't work out. But if she got 2, 3 baby daddies and like 2, 3 kids, she don't have discipline. She kept on letting different dudes go on her raw and then they the wrong dude. Like she done chose wrong 2, 3, 4 times. And then if she got 2, 3 kids, like it's so much stress that you got to deal with when you're dealing with raising these kids by yourself. So I strongly disagree with that. And then getting into the next reason that he gave, which is crazy.
They never have snacks in the pantry. I like to get up 3, 4 in the morning and get a Capri Sun and steal some of the kids' snacks. And women that don't have kids don't never have no food on. And you know what they always want to do?
Go out and eat.
But no kids always want to go out to eat and give looks like it's a goddamn fashion show. This ain't no motherfucking fashion show. I'm hungry. 3 in the morning. Capri Sun. Do you know what Capri Sun tastes like at 3 in the morning after a session?
Nah, hopefully I'm sleeping at 3 a.m.
Now you ain't hear me.
Oh, after a session.
You know,
yes,
man. I don't.
Yeah, okay, you know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you something. I ain't trying to be funny. Please tell me you had a honey bun in the microwave, warm it up for 12 seconds, nice and hot with a Capri Sun.
No,
A zebra cake.
All I love is zebra cake. Yeah, I have zebra cake. I don't like to eat after one of them sessions. I just want something cool. Come heartbeat real fast.
Yeah, okay. I understand. Yeah, well, for me, I purposely, first time, and I can tell you a story because we family. I can tell you, I was dating a woman. She was about, I was probably 27 at the time, and she had kids. She was about 53. She was 53.
Hold up. See, we got to stop right there. I forgot that he said that. So before we get into him dating a 53-year-old at 27, like this is hilarious. He said the second reason is that women without kids don't have snacks, so women with kids do have snacks. What's crazy is that I didn't heard this dumb shit said many times before, which is crazy. Oh, I can eat the kids' Capri Suns and Lunchables and it's food in there. If this ain't the most brokest shit I'd ever heard in my life, like it was women in the comments saying that, oh, men only broke men don't date single moms. No, it's actually the opposite. Because why would I be dating a single mom just because she got snacks when I can buy my own damn snacks? Like, come on now, like this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. So basically, this is just all about being cheap. But if you know Chad, that's his MO, and that's what most of his jokes be about being cheap. Chad always making fun and making jokes about being cheap. So this fits into his narrative of being cheap. Like I said, if we didn't know that Chad was a millionaire, we would be calling him broke. And like, let's just be real. But since we know that he a millionaire, we can just call him cheap. But that's all that this is. Like, you really gonna deal with a single mom just because she got snacks in the house? So, like I said, I can give 20 reasons, 20 bad reasons why, but and like I said, one of the benefits is that she has snacks. So dealing with baby daddy drama is worth it for the snacks at 3 a.m. Like, come on now. Like, it only take $10 to buy some snacks. Like, come on now. Like, you hit the gas station or liquor store or store period before you go to her house or before she come to your house, spend $10, $15 and buy some snacks yourself. Like, if you can't do that, you got some big problems. Like, literally, you got big problems. So to me, like, that's the dumbest reason and the dumbest thing I done heard. Like, literally, like, one of the dumbest things I done heard. So yeah, so basically he haven't gave no valuable reasons at all. Like, that's not a good enough reasons to me for me to date a single mom so I could save $10 to $15 on snacks. That's ridiculous. And then getting into what he just said now. He talking about he was 27 and he was dating a 53-year-old. I'm gonna let him finish.
For 27, 20. Yeah, she was about 53. No, I stayed at night and whatever. And it was time to go. She woke me up 3 in the morning and say, baby, you got to go. You can't stay here. I said, what you mean? I say, you came here and you did your business and what you need to do. Now I'm gonna give you a snack and a Capri Sun, but you got to go. I'm like, wait a minute. Like,
Yeah.
I did the walk of shame with food. At least she kicked me out with food. Now I felt bad, but at least she sent me home with something to eat and something on my stomach. Now, a single woman, no food, no nothing. I'm just talking about my experiences. They want to go eat.
That's happened. That's
They
happened.
they want to put that shit on. Yeah, what? To the good.
Oh my God. So why at 27 and I'm pretty sure Chad was in the NFL. Well, of course he was in the NFL at 27, 28. Like, he by then he probably was a Pro Bowler. Why the hell are you 27, 28 years old with the 53-year-old and you rich in the NFL? Most men that work a 9 to 5 at 27, 28 not about to be with a 53-year-old. So this just goes to show, Chad is something different. Like literally, like he's something. I don't know if this should be jokes or what. Like, so I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt if he joking and making stuff up, but like, you see his mentality, like he on something different. And of course, women with kids co-signing them, and they loving it, but Chad is a different person. He either joking, which just sound like, but he don't speak for literally almost no men. Like, like literally, like, unless, like I said, he super broke and super cheap, because his whole point was that you got to take single women out to dinner, which a lot of baby mamas still gonna want to go out to dinner, but they might have food at home and they might be more liable to cook for you and stuff like that. But to me, that's crazy that, I mean, you can find a single woman who knows how to cook, like, and that don't cook. Like, to me, like, these is not reasons enough to date only a single mother and not date a woman with kids, just so you don't have to go out to eat and you could get a cooked meal. And then when you got to look at it too, is that there's so much other stuff that you gotta deal with also. And then a lot of people can say also, you shouldn't be eating no kids snacks and that's state food. Like, why are you even doing that? You can even come from it from that standpoint of it being wrong. But I done dated, of course, a few single mothers and stuff, and I ain't gonna lie, like a few times it is cool. Like they got snacks and stuff in there. If you don't got none, they save you a trip to the store. But to me, that's literally all with all of the stuff that you have to deal with. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. Like, like literally, or one of them for sure, because I done heard a lot of dumb stuff in my life. But ain't no way in hell I'm about to deal with all the stuff that you have to deal with just to get a fucking Capri Sun and save some money. Because that's basically we say you save money, but then you don't. Because we know that most single mothers, I know a lot of them gonna say, oh, I handle it on my own, and you don't have to take care of my kid. Most single mothers I knew was struggling and looking for help and looking for money. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, like out of I might have dated like three, two for sure, between 2 and 4 single mothers that I didn't like seriously dated. We ain't count sleeping with because we know that don't count, but like that seriously dated and at least 2 of them for sure. The first 2 that came in my mind that I dated the longest and the most recent, they needed help financially for sure. Like they definitely was asking me for stuff, needed help with. One of them had a young kid. So she was needing help with buying the formula and Pampers and stuff. Then the other one, she had a real good job and everything. Like she made good money and she still was struggling and asked them for help and found out that she was out here tricking and all of that type of stuff because it's still too much to do by yourself. It's already hard to live by yourself, even if you're working like as a single person, but when you add on a kid, because obviously her baby daddy wasn't on child support and he didn't have money like that. So she had to pay all the bills by herself because she wasn't on Section 8 or nothing like that. I'll give that to her. But when you got to pay rent, lights and gas, then she had a nice car, of course. So she had a car note, had insurance, like, I don't even think she was getting food stamps. So she had to pay for food. Like, she had bills out the ass to where she was still struggling at the end of the day because she had kids. And then she liked to spoil her kids, especially if you like to take care of your kid and keep them in nice clothes and, really like, buy them games, video games and all of that stuff. It's expensive. Like I think they said you spend, what is it, like 250,000 on a kid, I think up until 18. Like, something like that. And that's the bare minimum. Like that's if you spending the minimum on your kid, you spending 250,000 up until he 18. But if you like, most people gonna want to do extra and more, you probably gonna end up spending like 350, 400,000, maybe even 500,000 on your kid. And then I don't know how much that's broken down over 18 years. I should have did that, how much technically you spending 18. I can't do it off of the top of my head, but so you got to think about that on top of your already expenses and stuff that you got like that. So and then like most single mothers like to say, don't nobody got to raise my kid or help me with my kid. We all know that's a lie. She said that in the beginning, but if y'all ever get together, you're going to have to help her with that kid. Point blank, period. You're going to have to help her with that kid because she not about to be with a man who not gonna help her and not gonna do nothing for a kid. What she shouldn't, like you shouldn't, like I said in another video, you shouldn't be with a man that he don't help you with your kid, buying stuff for Christmas and on his birthday. If you're all together, that's just something he should do. So that you're not wrong for that, but as a man, like I said, that's an extra financial burden on you that you don't have with a woman with kids. So if you still not saving money because the little bit of money you saving on snacks and maybe not going out to dinner, you spending that on the kid on Christmas and his birthday and little stuff here and there. You're gonna have to go out to eat because kids want McDonald's and stuff. So don't act like she just cooking all the time. You're gonna have to go to McDonald's and the restaurants from time to time also. And then, like they said, it's easier because now you got to pay for an extra kid. Like if you want to go on a trip, unless of course you can have somebody babysit the trip, but if y'all bring the kid, that's an extra mouth to feed. If y'all go out and she can't find a babysitter, that's extra money that you got to spend on the kid. So it don't make no sense at all. So yeah, Chad, I hope you joking. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm hoping that it was a joke. I'm hoping that you was playing around when you said this because literally everything that you said is just, like it's a joke and really can't be took it seriously. But like I said, once you said he dated a 53-year-old at 27, we know where his mind is at. So we got to take everything he say with a grain of salt. So, that's my opinion on it. Yeah, it don't make no sense at all. But yeah, Chad, I still mess with Chad. You still a funny dude. You still come across as a cool dude or whatever like that. I'm just gonna hope that you joking right now. So that's all I gotta say. I'm out. Like it ain't even nothing. It ain't even no more I need to say. I didn't already debunk what he just said, and we all know that this sounds crazy. If you got a brain, and if you dated single moms before, you know that this is BS. This is only a small percentage of single moms that have structure and discipline and things like that in their life. But then even if they got that, not all of them have food, and all of them just, because most of the ones that got snacks and food like that is ones that getting food assistance and stuff like that. And then not all women that don't have kids don't have food in their house. Like there's plenty of women who have their own place who do have food and do go grocery shopping. So it just really pick it. But I guess if you say majority, because I know we don't deal with all, we deal with majorities. I guess on average, women with kids will have food in their house versus women without kids, because technically they do have kids. But like I said, that's your reason for dating women with kids, just because they got snacks in the house. Like that don't make sense. The only viable reason that I seen in the comments to date a woman with kids is because, like people saying, with all these transgenders out here, you need to date a woman with kids just to make sure that she's a woman. It's like, to me that was funny, but I would take that reason over Chad reason. If you want to date a woman with kids just to make sure that she's a woman, like to me that's funnier and make more sense to me. But it's still not a reason enough to date a woman with kids with all of the BS that you got to deal with.